Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time. Zee Garcia, Sam Healey, oh baby, it's top 100 games.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia. Hello.
Sam Healey, what's up, y'all?
We're in the top 20. This is it.
Who won here?
There's probably not as much changes though once we get to the top 20.
I had some shuffling. I
have only one new one on my list today. It's really new. In fact, it got played just before we made the top 100.
Oh, I think I have a new one in here somewhere, at least one.
All right.
I know I have one, possibly two, but I think for the most part it's just one. Oh no, they got out of order.
You did some shuffling, you said?
I did.
He's doing it right now. Can you imagine? Okay.
I have them all numbered. I'm okay.
Let's get started.
20.
All right, so my number 20 is a game that I believe has already been mentioned by Mr. Garcia.
Of course. Is it a good game? Then yes. Blam.
Yeah, but it's a better game
no need to mention
than
it,
you do. It is a game that is a one versus all game. One person plays Dracula.
I was about to say, the only one I can think about you like that
The other
much.
one ain't going to make your list. Yeah.
And the other players are taking on the hunters we're talking about. Fury of Dracula, specifically the 3rd edition.
Yes.
Because that's what they're on now. And it's the most streamlined. It's the one that flows best. I don't necessarily like the graphic design. I like the 2nd edition graphic design a little bit better. I didn't like the outside of the box of the 3rd
I like
design.
Count Chocula.
Yeah, I know, right? That's exactly what I think
from
about.
Sesame Street.
No, I always think about Count Chocula every single time I see that box cover now. But that's just the cover. The inside of the box is it's really the same feel as far as 2nd edition is concerned, but it's just a little bit quicker. It's a little bit smoother. It's a more modern, I guess you could say, modernized design than 2nd edition was. Still really enjoy everything about the game. It's one of my favorite, if not, I can't remember if I have another one versus all game in here. This might be my favorite one versus all game. But number 20, Fury of Dracula, 3rd edition.
My number 20 is my favorite dexterity game. It was number 14 last year. This is my go-to game at any big meetup, convention, and that would be Pitch Car. Or as it was originally once called, Carabande. It took me a while to switch to Pitch Car.
Did you have a version called Carabande?
Yeah, way back in the day. Yeah. And then when they made the new version, Ferdy picked it up, and they made the new version, the pieces did not fit together.
Right.
So we were using like jumps to keep the track, but finally I have enough Pitch Car now. I don't need Carabande anymore. Actually, I probably have a little too much Pitch Car, actually. Every time I see a set, I'm like, I could use one more set, and I never use
3 of them.
I never use all the pieces.
Makes epic tracks.
Yes, he does.
But it is really fun, right? And it's just a game. Every time we play it at conventions or like at a big meetup, Sam yells at me if I play too close to his table because everybody cheers at every good shot.
Well, it's not just that. There's also cars flying off the table at certain points, and there's people always sticking their butts in your face because they're bending over to get the best trajectory, and that's the only reason. I don't really care if people have fun.
I didn't say you were a fun killer. I just said that was
definitely what it sounded like.
Look, I don't care if you have fun. Just don't have fun.
No, I'm just saying
me.
it always seems like you play a game right next to the table. As I said, that always happens. Sam's like, all right already. But that's what I like about the game is that even if you're losing by a mile, that the more you lose at a game, everyone cheers for you.
Yeah, right.
And when that amazing shot's made, it just everyone's like, that was hard.
Yeah.
But it's just stupid fun. It's racing a car around a track by flicking it, which shouldn't be as good as the game is, but it's really well done. So Pitch Car.
All right, my number 20, I think, has been mentioned by Tom.
I'm not going to make the egotistical comments that Z made earlier.
A few lists ago, I think you mentioned it. This is a 2-player worker placement game, which is a tricky sort of area to design for, but I think this game really nails that, and that is Targi. Targi, I want to say you mentioned
that was a long time ago
right?
if I did mention it.
Yeah, I thought so. Anyway, Targi is, from looking at the game, I wasn't sure I was going to like it. It's a game that looks kind of dry. It's a Euro game. It has a fairly Euro game, paint by numbers theme. But the gameplay is very captivating. I enjoy its combination of sort of mechanic-y, ideas in which you are, place a worker up here, place a worker over here, and then wherever they meet on this grid, hey, you get another worker there. Great.
It's a grid.
It's grid. Tom likes grids. I'm not necessarily, floored by grids, but
I see what you did there.
but I do enjoy this game a lot, and it's one that, as I say, every time I bring it out, it's a hit. And every time I bring it out, I almost slightly psych myself into thinking, do I really like this game this much? All right, let me play with so-and-so who's never played it and they like worker placement games. Boom, I love it. So it had to be on my list. A fantastic two-player game that is not just a little deck of cards, as many of them are. Nothing wrong with that, but many of them are. This one's got some meat on its bones. Targi, my number 20.
19.
My number 19 will be distracting for Sam, mostly because every other game I put higher than this, he's going to question. It was my number 12 last year. A fantastic game that if you watch our original review, I was more enthusiastic than Sam was, and that's Blood Rage.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. You stop playing games after you review them.
No, I've actually played Blood Rage since then several times, not nearly as many times as you have.
Yeah,
Sam has
obviously.
played Blood Rage more since I played all my other games put together. That's not.
Wow.
I don't think that's even
Yeah,
close to being true.
However, I'll say this: I think at conventions, Sam has played Blood Rage at more conventions than he hasn't.
I may have played Blood Rage at every convention this year so far.
You played it at the Gathering?
Okay, except for that one, and not Gamma. So I think those are the two.
Well, Gamma doesn't count. But yeah, no, but I do like Blood Rage. I really love the idea. There has so many things in it. It has the card combat, which I really enjoy. The Cosmic Encounter style, you play cards, and there's cards that do different things. It has the area control, which I'm a big fan of. Death is not the end in this game. In fact, if you die a lot, you can actually win. It offers multiple strategies and lets you control big giant monsters that actually mean something. They're bigger than they need to be, but still. And the production is just off the charts. It's so good. This is really par for the course for CMON at this point.
So good.
I feel good. Dun 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 dun. Blood Rage. My number 19.
All right, my number 19 is...
Also Blood Rage.
No, he's already.
He already did say Blood.
Did I already say Blood Rage?
That was a three-way crossover.
Okay.
Oh, you don't even.
That's a three.
It's been a while, man. I wrote this list, I put it away. Seriously, I don't remember. And now, even after I've done it, I shelve it. My 19 is Race for the Galaxy, which is my favorite out of the For the Galaxy series of games. I know you guys both, I think, like Roll for the Galaxy
He likes Race
better.
better.
You like Race better, you like Roll better.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely like Race better again. Because
Last year I liked Roll better.
Yeah.
Because it was new.
We have yet to find what's on my list this week.
If there is a new expansion for Roll, it'll show back up. That's what's right.
Is that how I go? The expansions?
This is based on Puerto Rico, right, and San Juan a little bit, so I like both of those games, especially San Juan. And this one's got the cool sci-fi theme on it. I like that it's a little meatier than San Juan. There's a little more going on, but it's still a very tight game. The game is 30 minutes, 25 minutes sometimes. It's a very short playtime, but a lot going on in it. And I like that very much. The expansions, for the most part, since I brought it up, they've been kind of touch and go. The expansions have been a mixed bag for sure. Some of them I have, some of them I like, but I wouldn't say, if you like Race, go get the expansions. That's not necessarily a statement. I make that statement a lot about a lot of games. I think expansions, generally, 95% of the time, they're good. And they will help you enjoy a game that you already like even more. I'm not sure I feel that way about Race, but they're not necessarily awful. They're just sort of sidesteps. The game itself, though, fantastic. Very much enjoy Race for the Galaxy. That's my 19.
My number 19 is a evergreen classic at this point for me. It's one that I have used in gateway experiences before, and I've caught a lot of flack for saying that this is a gateway game because people say that it's a little bit too much for that.
Yes,
but that is Seven Wonders.
Okay.
I've used.
It's right on the line, right?
Yeah, it is, but you kind of have to gauge.
Wow, I didn't realize Seven Wonders this high on your list.
No, I really enjoy it a lot. And it has, at this point, even though it wasn't innovative like the other one was,
Let it go.
it has passed. Yes, I'm still clanging that bell.
That was from like a voting block of games.
I know, a long time ago, but it was not innovative back
It was
then.
nominated for the most innovative, and Sam was like, "This is not innovative."
A long time ago. Anyway,
7 years ago, actually, I know
I
this.
really do.
It's been 7 ages.
I really do enjoy Seven Wonders, and it is a game that I can go to. I can't even remember the name of the other one right now.
Fairy Tale.
Yes, thank you.
Which one?
always-
Is
he
this?
always brings
No.
us up.
I never said it was better. I said Seven Wonders. I mean,
I'm scared right now.
What is
Shouldn't
it?
have said anything.
Fairy Tale.
Fairy Tale. Such a forgettable name.
You're getting old, man.
I know it is.
What did I
Fairy
say?
Tale was the one that did it first. Seven Wonders did the exact same thing. Maybe they were designed at the same time, but neither
Oh,
really.
I doubt it. Fairy
Neither
Tale's
was-
way.
But you
way
like Seven
older,
Wonders
yeah.
better,
It
I'm
wasn't
guessing.
that much older. It was just like maybe a year.
But you like Seven Wonders better.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's more palatable for people.
And you like the
it's
expansion.
more easier to understand. And many of the expansions that I also enjoy as well. So it's just one of those games that has, I was cool on it to begin with, simply because I had this other game that basically did the same thing that it does.
Right.
And it had a smaller footprint. But it has since eclipsed Fairy Tale simply because it's more palatable, and I think the card combinations in Seven Wonders are much more intuitive than the ones that are in Fairy Tale. So I really enjoy this game. It has been in my top 20 for a while now, I think. I don't think this is not a newcomer. Number 19, Seven Wonders.
Number 18.
All right, my number 18 is. It's a game that has already
Glasses.
It's a game that has already been mentioned by Tom very recently. This is Balderdash. And as I said, this is really what I wrote was beyond Balderdash, but if you go and buy Balderdash today, you're getting a rebranded Beyond Balderdash.
Right.
It's been a favorite party game of mine for ages. It's the kind of game that rarely comes to an end, because usually I just sort of fall out of my chair laughing, and the whole thing just sort of
Like
devolves into silliness.
Z's having a heart attack.
You know.
Game over.
I remember having the worst laughter headache I've ever had from this game. That doesn't sound like a good experience, but I literally laughed so much I gave myself a headache.
That has, I think, never happened to me. Has it happened to you ever?
No, my dad's passed out
From laughing?
from laughing.
I don't have enough fun in my life. What's going on here?
Wild.
I have a laughter hangover. You're like,
Anyway, Beyond Balderdash, or just Balderdash, is the dictionary game packaged, sold to you with a few different categories. But, oftentimes, the simplest things tend to be the most fun. I think this game is a good case for that.
my problem with these
Balderdash.
games is when I play them with Z, his laughter makes me laugh even more. It's really annoying because I'm like, okay, that's a little funny, and Z's falling out of his chair laughing. Like, okay, stop.
I guess. Yeah, it's definitely a group dynamic. Super fun.
Yeah, that's probably the one reason I don't have party games on my lists ever, hardly, because they're so, I don't know, they're so beholden to the group that you're playing them with.
Yeah.
A party game can fall so flat in the wrong group, but in the right group, it can be so fun.
Yeah, but I
just-
mean, that's like me playing. I've had, gamer games fall so flat with people that thought we were playing a game because they came into it thinking, yeah, I'll play a game with you. What are we doing? Where's the clay? Where's the dice? And I'm like, okay, this is the brick and this is the clay. And they're going, oh, okay. How do I move? Where are the dice to move? That kind of thing. It's like,
No, you don't have to roll dice to move anymore.
so
We've grown past
I
that.
think that's
Some of us have.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. The wrong group is very easy to find for most of our lists.
Yeah. All right, my number 18 is a game that I have talked a lot about, and they finally did a reprint of it last year, and I gave Tasty Minstrel Games a lot of flack on their graphic design of Colosseum, but they reprinted a great game, and they largely left it alone.
I keep thinking this is in your top 10, but
So it was in my top 10, but it has slipped some. And that's not because
You played enough five-player games at 2 in the morning is what it is.
Yeah, something like that. But the idea of Coliseum is really intriguing to me. I like the fact that they took what could have been a really bloody, gory theme, talking about the Colosseum in Rome and all of the things that went on in there, and they made it more of a theatrical type thing.
People forget that a lot of that stuff was theatrical.
Yeah, it was.
We only talk about the gladiator part.
Right, exactly, and that's only one really small part of the what the Colosseum was, and there's other really dark, small parts of what the Colosseum was as well. But for the most part, it was a source of entertainment, and they would put on plays and that type of stuff. And so I really like that about this. It's still a great game. The reproduction of it is a great reproduction. I just don't like the look of it, but I still enjoy the fact that they just left the game alone and they just made it available again. So kudos to TMG for that. So that's my number 18, Coliseum.
My number 18 was number 31 last year. It's moved up. It is the hottest game around these days in the Euro game market, and I just really like it, and that's Terraforming Mars. Terraforming Mars just really hits that whole build up a fun engine. I've always liked games where you build up some sort of engine and get it going, and Terraforming Mars has that. And you start with a corporation that kind of gives you focus, gives you special things. You get to play all these different buildings. You're all working on this map together cooperatively. Has a little bit of take that in it, which I don't mind. It's not too bad, but you can hit people around a little bit. Had way different strategies. You want to draft probably for the best experience, although that can add to the length of the game too.
Okay.
The components could use a bit of an upgrade, but they're still pretty neat looking. At least a little silver and gold cubes. But I just really like it. Every time I play it, it's so exciting. It's a really entertaining game, and it also scales really well. Terraforming Mars. I think this was in your top 100, right?
Yeah.
Which I was surprised about.
Way low.
Well, it's way high for me. Terraforming Mars.
Number 17.
My number 17 is a game for which I actually just reviewed a small expansion, a deck of cards. This is 51st State Master Set. 51st
Whoa.
State.
Cool.
I thought this was in your top 10.
Well, nearly. It's 17.
7 away.
I think the whole concept of a top 10, I'm kind of getting over that. I'm going to start calling them top 20s. Because I feel like
On all our lists from now on,
you're
do
being
10.
very dismissive of 51st State being only 17.
Again, no, it didn't even make my top 600. But
What?
Oh my god.
Have you played the expansion?
I haven't played it.
Back up to 20, baby.
I haven't played it since that time you taught it to us.
I did teach you the new one, right? Anyway.
No, you taught us the old one.
I did? The
Yeah,
original 51st.
You came
Taught me
in.
the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At UKG.
And you taught me and Sam, and you're like, and you move these tokens, and I was like,
It's a very complex game that's, Race for the Galaxy, with more going on in it. And if you go back to the original version, which is what Tom's talking about, that I've been a fan of for a long time, then even worse iconography, even more going on, even harder to sort of get into and figure out.
That's what we hate.
It was
Portal
a
at
game
its
that,
worst.
It was a game that definitely kept a lot of people out with both its complexity and its ease of entry. The reprint, which is what I'm talking about here, 51st State, they're calling it the Master Set, is, as Sam likes to say, sounds better than the original. It has text instead of a bunch of icons everywhere, so it's a lot simpler to understand. The game has been streamlined. It's been changed. It's been made to have that theme sort of come to the forefront, that post-apocalyptic theme, while still doing all the resource management and everything else without the punishing difficulty of the original game. And you are getting a lot of content in that box. You are sort of getting some quote-unquote expansion content right out of the base game. I love the game. I don't think it scales particularly well. I think I like it way better at 2 players than more. More is fine, just really long. And the theme, of course, is awesome for me. I love that post-apocalyptic stuff. So 51st State Master Set, very happy that got reprinted, that it's getting a little bit of love, and I'm really happy to have it in my collection and have it be my number 17 of all time.
Cool.
My number 17 was actually number 17 last year.
What?
It was in my top 10 for a while. This is a set of games, actually. It was on both of your lists, probably, and that's Ticket to Ride. This is still one of my go-to games. Bring it out, play it. I just played it a couple weeks ago. Really still enjoyed the game. I used to say Markland was my favorite, but I think my favorite is currently the Pennsylvania UK maps. I really like those two maps. But I like...
They significantly changed the game, too, though.
Pennsylvania doesn't significantly. It's more of a very easy change.
The UK one definitely.
The UK one definitely
the
does.
technology and stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
However, but I still really like the original map with the expansion, which is basically bundled in, especially if you buy the 10th anniversary edition. It's basically Rummy with a board, but that works for me. I really like it. It's an easy game to sit around and talk while you're playing it. Turns were pretty quick. Just good all around. Ticket to Ride.
Yep. That's good. Good pick. All right, my number 17 is a game that... well, yeah.
You reminded
Why do you remind me of such foolery? My goodness.
Tomfoolery.
Yes.
Oh, that's what the word...
what you did
Now you
there.
know why. Now you know.
All right, my number 17 is a sci-fi, not really epic, but definitely epically fun.
Wildlife.
Shit, not yet.
Not yet.
Hold on.
Wait,
Not yet. It's based on a very popular television IP. That is Battlestar Galactica.
Why am I thinking you already did this one? Or did you have it on your... No, you didn't have it on your list.
No, get out of my face.
He doesn't like this game at all.
It is in my top 600, though.
Yeah, that's what he always says. He's like,
He's
oh,
like,
yeah,
no, not in my top 600, he said, for 51st State.
Yeah.
Well, BSG is in my top 600. It's right near like 592.
All right, it's there though.
It's there.
It's there. So anyway, Battlestar Galactica is what we would call a semi-cooperative game. It's not really one versus all. You could even go so far as to say is this team versus team.
That's what I call it, team
Because
versus team. It really is.
but it plays in a cooperative sense because the Cylons, you don't know who they are, and the humans.
Unless they're really bad.
Unless they're a really bad Cylon.
They keep looking
right.
at their card.
Right. Huh, what is that?
It's a Cylon.
What is that condition that does this when I fire it? Oh yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, no, it's a really fun game. I've the main thing that keeps this off of the table is very similar to what Twilight Imperium. The same thing, it just takes a long time to play. Furthermore, it's a little difficult on the upswing for people to learn how to play it as well. So it has that going against it, but I really enjoy playing the game. We played it at Dice Tower Con just this past summer. Had a great time playing it, and that's probably more of the reason why it's still on my top 100, because I was reminded about how much I enjoy playing that game. Because it has such a time investment, I'm usually kind of, I don't know, I have a lot of other stuff that I need to do, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So I was just reminded how much I enjoy the game. Battlestar Galactica, number 17. There you have it.
Number 16.
My number 16 is my new one to this 10, and that is one we played right beforehand. We played a final production copy, but you can't get it for a long time, I think. And that is Rising Sun, which, yes, I do like better than Blood Rage. I mean, but like by 3 points on the scale. I really like Rising Sun. Now, we'll see how it pans out as the years go by. Will it stay higher than Blood Rage or
Will
not?
it, be out when next time you make your top 100 and actually be a game that is available? I mean, all these questions, these burning kinds of questions, like, is it too soon to put
No,
it on
I
your
suspect
list?
I suspect it will be out sooner than they already announced that it would be out. Like, you back this, you dweeb, Azarias.
I suspect that this is going to be higher on Z's list. That's why he's giving you so much guff about
It
it.
won't be.
Okay, no.
No, I got to play it more.
Okay.
Before I put it on my
But I
list.
really like
this 16 for me, though, will be a new game, but you can get it. In
Oh
your
my
face.
goodness.
No, I'm kidding. Go.
We can't even use the you can get it list, or we
I know, right?
disqualify like
Half of your list is out of
entries, you
print.
doofus.
What are you talking about?
But anyhow, I like the battle system a lot. It has that same go get a big monster, the whole pick an action, and everyone gets to take that action, and you get a bonus.
Yes.
Is a concept I like in games a lot, Puerto Rico and things like that. It just comes together in a very clean game. I just like how the game works. It has 3 distinct ages, and each age builds on top of each other.
Yes.
I'm sure you like Blood Rage better. but I like this one. Again, though, if you see how close they are, you say, which one do you want to play? I'd be like,
Depends what kind of setting you want.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah, I also really like the samurai setting. Really like that. I like the samurai setting better than the Viking setting. I like the Viking monsters, though, better than the Oni, because the Oni are gross.
No, but they're awesome. They wear skulls and stuff.
That's not awesome.
Drape
called a
human
lack of
scarves
clothing.
over themselves.
They have to improvise. That's all that is.
They need to work harder on that. One of these Oni needs to learn how to sew.
Exactly. The Oni of sewing.
He shows up.
Listen, guys, we need to get together and work this out. I'll definitely give you a red outfit because you like blood.
A blood-soaked
The
outfit.
blood sewing Oni. That sounds worse. We just go.
That's
Yeah, it sounds like he's like putting blood in the ground and waiting for it to grow so he can reap what he sowed.
blood sewing.
Oh my goodness, just go.
Disgusting.
Yes, yeah, it's gross. All right, my number 16 is a very lighthearted game, has nothing blood in it at all.
Good transition.
There you go. It has already been mentioned by Mr. Garcia. I doubt that Tom will mention it because I don't think he likes it near as much as he or I do. It is a racing game around a particular island. With which the name of the game is derived, Jamaica. Jamaica is a great racing family level game that has a super cool pirate theme just slathered on top of it. And yeah, it is pasted on. This could literally be racing anything around anything
so?
that is
I
in a
think the pirate
circular
theme works.
fashion.
Finding the treasure,
No, it
shooting.
absolutely works. That's great, but it could be anything. It could be anything. It's just a racing game with a pirate theme put onto it, and it is great. And the expansion, I'm not so on board with it as you were, but I've only played it the once. So I want to play it some more to see where that expansion falls on it. But right now, even without the expansion, Jamaica is a great game. So without the expansion. It warrants being included on my list.
Oh my goodness, I just picked Rising Sun. There's not even expansions out for it yet.
Oh yeah, no, but there's like
it would not be anywhere near his list.
Kickstarter
If there were not any extra monsters, it wouldn't be on his list.
This is really boding ill for the rest of my list here.
I knew it. But anyway, Jamaica's great fun.
Yeah.
We've already heard from Zee how much of a good game it is, and so my number 16, Jamaica.
Yeah, I actually think the weird thing for me regarding Jamaica and the expansion is that I think for once, I think the expansion actually makes the game easier to teach.
No.
I don't know.
How?
It strips out of the treasure deck special action cards that I don't have to teach. Because if you draw it into your hand, I can look at it and tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas when the characters get flipped over, I can tell you, that one does this, that one does that.
Yeah, but there's so many more characters.
And the rest of the
You gotta
deck?
explain how to get those
Points.
characters.
You can count. You know what I mean? I actually think the game is easier to play with the expansion than not.
I'm going to be the Swiss because he's definitely one side and you're the other. I'll be in the middle
You're
somewhere.
good, okay.
That's called.
All right, that's me. 16. My number 16, as I said, is also a brand new game that I completely fell in love with. It's a game called, by its title, and
Thank you, Captain.
it is from Renegade Game Studios.
Can't be Ex Libris.
It is not. I like that game very much. But it's not
Sentient?
it is Sentient. Or
Sentient's that good?
Sentient is that good for me? Sure.
Wow, I haven't played it.
Oh, okay.
Well, we need to get on this.
Looks amazing.
16.
It is.
That's amazing.
It's an abstract-ish kind of game. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle-y, okay? That's changing his tune right quick.
I was like, well, that's good.
It's fun.
puzzling. It's
Factory
abstract.
fun.
It is basically abstract, yeah, but you are manipulating a lot of small puzzles which add up to a really fun game, and I enjoy that, right? It's not co-op, it's just you're doing your own thing, but man, it's a game that just engages me from the very first roll of you roll your dice, you set them up on this track, and then you have to manipulate them. The dice are there, but it's not really a dice rolling game. But right away, I'm like, okay, how can I make those cards work for what I'm trying to do over here? And immediately, you're engaged with that concept. It's got worker placement in it. It's got kind of area control in it. And then manipulation of what's happening in front of you to score specific cards. It's a lot of little gears turning together. And I love that feeling in games. I love being able to press a button over here and try to figure out how that's going to affect me down way over here. This game has that. It's quick. It's 3 rounds. Each round is you taking 5 cards. That's basically it. And then you score everything at the end. Oh, man, it's great. I really, really am enamored with it. It's not for everyone, I guarantee it. And if you are attracted by the cover, you think, oh, the theme looks awesome, some sort of AI theme, what do you do in it? Lower your expectations for that, because if that's what's hooking you, I don't think you're going to get it. But it's a fantastic game nonetheless. Sentient is my number 16. Love it.
Number 15.
All right, my number 15 is a game that we have talked about a lot over the past decade and a half, basically.
Whoa.
It is
old.
Cooperative game
Ew.
that uses cards.
Ew.
Does it have King Arthur and his knights involved?
It has King Arthur and his knights involved as well.
That's the only one I can think of that's that old.
Shadows over Camelot is my number 15. And this is one of those games that I have really enjoyed playing over the years. I've enjoyed teaching it over the years. And I love seeing that moment in time when I'm teaching somebody new how to play the game where they go, oh, that's it? That's all you have to do to play this game? This is really fun. You know, and because it looks like a huge, grandiose brain buster of a game if you just look at it on the table. And you see all these people sitting around it, because it takes up to 8 people. No. It's not. But I mean, it looks like this huge game that you could never wrap your head around, especially if it's like a gateway type thing where you've never really played games before. But then you learn how to play it. Oh, that's all I have to do? I just have to do this, and this? Oh, okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's have fun. I love seeing that moment because it happens a lot in this game because the look of it is so deceptive in a good way because it looks really good as well. But I really enjoy the game a lot. It's one of the first cooperative games that I ever played, and it really is the one game that kind of turned me onto that genre and basically told me this is a genre that you're going to like a lot. So Shadows over Camelot, my number 15.
One thing I like about the game is when you sit down with new people and they're like, this trader thing, and immediately I'll be like, Z is the trader, he just blinked. And everyone at the table's like, what, he's a trader? And then Z's like, no, Sam's a trader. And then Sam will say something, and everyone at the table's like, oh, we're just all accusing each other?
Yes.
Okay. And you know, they feel
like
more...
Some people are like, oh, I get it, okay.
This is lighthearted trader game. Okay.
I got it. All right, my number 15 is this is what, a couple of years old now.
Wow, so old.
5 Tribes is my number 15.
Like 2 years old.
A couple of years.
That is what you said.
That's what 2 means.
But,
Couple.
But it's already gotten a lot of love. It's got a couple of expansions, actually 3 now, technically expansions. It is a game that has done surprisingly well, I believe, and it is one that deserves it because truly it's a fantastic design. Heavier than you would expect from the company, Days of Wonder, same company as Sam's game. Colorful, very splashy, but a lot going on in it. This is not Shadows over Camelot as far as complexity. There's more going on. It's a little trickier. It's gonna quite possibly make you slow down and look at the board and go, this is tough. I don't know how to tackle this. I like that feeling. Again, I enjoy a bunch of little puzzles in games. This one also gives me that feeling. And that every time it's my go, I'm looking at a puzzle I sort of need to find a decent solution for. It doesn't have one answer though, right? It's not Trivial Pursuit. You know it or you don't know it. It's try to do the best you can. And this game... It's Mancala. It's got a Mancala mechanism in it, yeah.
It's Mancala for gamers. That's what it is.
Yes, it's Mancala for gamers. I really enjoy it. I
think Mancala is for gamers already, but...
Mancala's... depends which one, right? Which Mancala. There's a lot of different ones. Anyway, 15, 5 Tribes. Very much enjoy the game.
My number 15 was 32 last year. Moved up partially because of an expansion. But also because of an app, and also because I think it's just a really great game. It was already in this top 10, and that is Race for the Galaxy. Still really like Roll for the Galaxy, but man, with 2 or 3 players, Race just shines.
Yeah.
Especially when everyone knows what they're doing. Just sit there, play cards. The app is great. It's a really well done app. But also that newest expansion, you said take or leave the expansions. I really like that new Xeno
me too.
thing
That's
expansion.
my favorite one for sure.
adding the aliens and stuff. I like that. But he is also correct in that you don't need those expansions. I played the base game of this many, many times. I also don't care, and I'll mix everything together. What do I care? I don't care if the game's totally balanced or not. Like, take all the little cards from the different expansions that actually work.
I literally, my set at home, I've removed any card that shows the attacking symbol.
No, that's fine. No, I get that.
It's super annoying. It never happens. It happens once out of every, 8 games, and I have to teach it. So literally, my deck is modified because I hate those cards being in there.
That's what I'm saying. I took out the cards I like from each of the first 3, put them in, added some of the cards I like from the 4th one, and add the Xenoshift cards in.
Right.
You're not supposed to do that.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there right now who are like horrified that he has unbalanced the game.
Yeah, I'm having fun. Anyway, my number 15, Race for the Galaxy.
Number 14.
My number 14 is also another game that I've been talking highly about for a long time. It was fairly recently reprinted by IDW. It is a Viking game, and
wow,
it's called
still this high.
Fire and Axe: A Viking Saga. Yes, I really enjoy this game, and it has everything that a Viking game should have in it, all wrapped up into
Almost.
one. Why? What are you saying it's missing?
No, the stuff that Blood Rage would have.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's a different kind
Beautiful
of...
miniatures.
Yeah. Well, no, the miniatures in the expansion, in the reprint were not bad.
Oh, they weren't?
Yeah, they were not bad at
Okay.
all. They actually
Fun.
had different poses, and the IDW actually did a really good job with the miniatures.
Okay, well, then my final answer is fun.
So... Wow. Well, yeah, this is one of the games that this is the one that you say that you fell asleep playing, right?
No, I just don't like it. I feel like the whole game comes down to a few dice rolls, and I like lots of dice rolls or none, not a few.
Okay. Yeah, you're just bad at playing the game. He doesn't care. He gave it to my wife because my wife really enjoys the game as a birthday present, the original version.
I didn't have any.
Way back when.
I'll give a game.
Yeah,
I don't give
exactly.
games to you anymore as presents. That would be. Like,
No, but
"See,
you didn't
for
give it
your
to me
birthday."
either way. You gave it to my wife because she really enjoyed the game.
That's true, but I'm saying
So-
nowadays I try not to give out games as much to people I know. It's like,
Yeah.
here is a game that I
Thanks
got.
for work, Tom.
But Fire and Axe: A Viking Saga is a really good game. It's very fun, in my opinion. You do have to be careful because people can swoop in where you've been working towards a certain thing. People can swoop in and do it before you get there. So you do have to plan, kind of put out a nebulous vibe what exactly you're trying to go do until you actually go do it, so that people can't come in there and kind of mess up your plans. You do have to kind of watch for that. But the reprint from IDW is overall, I would say, 90% an improvement over the original. I just don't like how dark the board is. Huh? What?
What did they improve?
They improved the look of the cards. They improved the artwork. They improved the graphic design. They improved the models. They improved almost everything except the board. The board was the one thing that I thought was a done worse.
Well, it's the only one that's available anyway, so
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
So it's still
the
a
Asmodee
really great
one
game. And again,
blows
they
the
didn't
new one away,
change
but-
anything from the reprint from the original to the reprint. So it's great. All of the different city miniatures, those are better. So yeah, they did a good job. Anyway, that's my number 14, Fire and Axe: A Viking Saga.
My number 14 was 142 last year, and this one, I don't care, went up because of
Did
expansions.
you make like a typo? I mean, like 1-4, and then you added a 2 by mistake last time? Or?
It's because of the expansions for sure, and it also went on your list this year.
Wait.
Because of the
142
expansions.
up to 14.
Yes, because I like
Because of
it that
expansions.
much better because of these expansions. There's 2 expansions, and
I
this
know
is
what it is.
Champions of Midgard.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I like it.
14.
I like it that much better. I really like Champions of
They
Midgard
did-
anyway,
they did make some
and those
huge
expansions, that the whole tokens and being able to use them to get things, and basically also expanding the board. It was a little tight. It's a little looser now. You can get lots of things.
Okay.
I really like it. I like it better than Lords of Waterdeep. I like Lords of Waterdeep. They were always kind of neck and neck in a sense, but I like it way better now. There's more dice. They went from having 3 different kinds of dice. Now there's 6 different types of dice. Each person has their own chief now that they can roll at any point, but you can lose him. I mean, it doubled the amount of content in that game. Made it twice as good. Therefore, it shot up that much. Just a fantastic game. Really enjoy this one, Champions of Midgard.
Cool.
All right, my number 14 is one of my favorite abstract games from the GIF series. I talk about this
You don't need to
enough.
say abstract, just say one of my favorite games. It's just,
It's true,
You're
but
being
it's
redundant.
also one of my favorite abstract games. It's one of my favorite games that has plastic pieces. It's one of my favorite games that has a board. Also, one of my
that's
favorite
actually
games
rarer.
that only includes basically 2 colors, white and black.
and blue.
Yinch doesn't have blue anywhere.
Aren't the sides of the discs blue?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's right.
3 colors. Hold on. Now that it has a color expansion, it just shot up.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, 14, Yinch. It's abstract. It's fun. If you care for abstracts, go check it out. I've talked about it enough.
It is a fantastic game.
Number 13.
My number 13 was 45 last year. This one I've enjoyed since it's come out, I think 5 years ago now. Actually, I do know 5 years because 5 years ago I reviewed it. And a couple new expansions came out this year for it. But this one has had
Shame,
expansions.
man. No shame in that.
This one has had expansions come out every year, adding more and more superheroes to it, and that is Marvel Legendary.
Wow.
I know that technically the other, the Legendary, what's it called?
Encounters.
Legendary Encounters is a better system, but I like Marvel Legendary better. I just do. I just like going in there, fighting the monster, or fighting the heroes. I mean, the villains. Or sometimes you can fight the heroes if you play the villain expansion.
Right.
Fighting the different people. I love the combinations. I love the fact that I'm like, I wonder if there's obscure characters in the game. They are. You know?
By now,
By
yeah.
now, they've added everything. They literally, they keep announcing new expansions. I'm like, all right, I'll get it and play it. Oh, it's pretty fun. But it's so unnecessary at this point.
Oh.
Nobody can play every combination in the game. It is literally, you can play it every day, you know, once a day for a whole year, and not even get to all the, I'm not saying every permutation, you know, just some basic, like, there's, I think, like 30 to 40 of the main bosses now. That's a ton. It's crazy. And there's like 200 heroes. It's
Wow.
insanity. So, but I still really like it. Marvel Legendary.
Okay, that's me.
I got no negative feedback on that.
Oh, it didn't make my top 100.
I like Encounters better.
You like Encounters better?
Yeah.
I think you do too.
Yeah.
But it's still not in my top 100. I enjoy it. All right, is this me?
It is.
All right, my number 13 is the reprint slash rebranding of Jambo, a 2-player card game. It's called Asante. I think this is the one you can get now, if you can get it. I'm not sure if it's out of print. And really, it's very similar to the original game, though
Well,
not.
you could mix them actually.
You can mix them. It's not the same game, right? It's not a reprint straight up, but it was sort of their rebranding of the line.
Which is unfortunate because I think Asante is kind of a name that never didn't catch on. I don't think this game has
Yeah.
done very well.
I don't think so either. And Jambo, I don't know if it did. I think it did pretty well. It was certainly one of the more popular 2-player
It
Cosmos
sounds like
games.
it sounds a cooler name, Jambo or Asante. If I heard those two names, I'd pick the Jambo.
Yeah,
It sounds like food actually, but
delicious.
I
And
would
it's
expect
it's
a game about food with like Sylvester Stallone in it.
it's Jambo. Shooting jelly at the enemies.
Exactly, man.
yeah, I would play that reprint. That re-theme. Mike has to get on that. Anyway, it's an economic game, card game. There's a little bit of meanness in it. Certainly, there's going to be some take that in it, but I love that there's a bunch of cards with a bunch of powers, and you play them and do stuff. Manage this, mess with that, steal your building, trade my resources, and then sell a specific combination I've been trying to work to get. Stuff like that. I like it a lot. It's been on my top 100 list for a long time. So, Asante slash Jambo. That's my 13.
My number 13 is probably, you could probably even call this a micro game because it really does feel that way. It's
Love Letter.
nothing but a card. It's not that much bigger than Love Letter. It's just a little small deck of cards and a few tokens, 3 for each person. It's a 2-player game.
Wow.
Has a Japanese theme on it.
Oh, is this? I can't pronounce it. Go ahead.
Hanami Koji?
Yeah, that one.
Yes, that is exactly what it is. And it's probably one of the only games of its kind that is this small, as I usually don't like the tiny little...
This is 13?
Yeah, I really like it that much. I really enjoy it.
You have really corrupted him this past year.
Corrupted.
He learned that game before I ever saw it. What are you
I'm just
talking
saying
about?
you're changing his ways.
No.
No. Anyway, one of the things that I like about this game is because it does really carry a wallop as far as the kinds of decisions that you have to make throughout the course of the game. And it is just a small little 2-player game. It's not earth-shattering, but at the same time, it has a whole lot of game in this little tiny box. And I'm usually not one to gravitate towards those kinds of games, but this one I've really enjoyed. Everybody, and I mean that in a literal sense that I have taught this to, have walked away loving the game. And some of them have actually walked away right across the aisle and purchased it because it's just that good of a game, I think. And so that's my number 13.
Salesman.
No, it's the game. It's not me. Hanami Koji.
Number 12.
All right, my number 12 is, what were the 2 games you just had? Blood Rage, Rising Sun. My 12 is a lot like my 17, even closer than...
Wait, your 17 was 51st State, right?
Yes.
So this means this has to be Imperial Settlers.
Yes, it is. And I even debated really putting them both on the list because they're close. They're not the same game, but they're similar enough.
I guess they are, but they must be, the modern one must be closer to Imperial Settlers. Because when I played the original one, I played Imperial Settlers, it didn't occur to me that they were that similar.
No, the new 51st State took a lot of inspiration from what the designer did from the original concept to make Imperial Settlers. And then he went back and thought, okay, I'm going to simplify 51st State by bringing some of these concepts into that world. They're still not the same game. Resource management is different. Sort of cadence of the game is different. The things you can do in the game are kind of different, but same turn structure. If you like one, you're probably going to like the other one. It's got that same vibe to it. This one, as you can see, just barely edges out the other one. Part A is because, there's more expansions. There's more content in it. But B, I can teach and play this with more people, I think. The theme is a little more welcoming. It's a little less mean overall. There's less sort of in-your-face possibilities. It's cute. It's got some cutesy artwork, so there's that. Though the game, again, is not that light, so you can't really teach it to someone who goes, oh, it's cute. I've never played games that. I'll try it. Oh, I don't know if I can throw you right into this, But I really enjoy it. It's a fantastic design, really great game. Imperial Settlers gives me what I like in the heavier card games, which is a favorite genre of mine, and that is a lot of things to manipulate, but not overwrought complexity. So that is Imperial Settlers, my number 12.
My number 12 is a game that I believe has already been mentioned by both parties here involved. Not in this.
This isn't illegal.
not actually in this segment, but before. I believe you've both mentioned Time Stories already. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't remember.
Well, yours.
I know you have.
Yeah, it dropped slightly for me, so that's actually still pretty high for you then.
It is, because I really enjoy. This is one of the few puzzly kind of games that I enjoy, and it's because of the themes that are wrapped around. I don't like all of the themes that have been wrapped around each of the different storylines, but it's the theme that keeps me captivated, whereas some of the mechanisms that are employed are boring to me sometimes. If it gets way too puzzly, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna let you guys handle this and I'll just wait. And so the really heavily puzzly ones I don't like as much, but overall, the overarching feel is I really enjoy Time Stories. I love the cooperative nature of the game. I love how everything just kind of fits together, and I love the overarching story that we're starting to see with some of these different things that are coming together.
Yeah, hopefully they don't ditch that, because I'm really intrigued with that.
How it all fits together. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. That's my number 12, Time Stories.
My number 12 was 21 last year, and this has nothing to do with expansions because this game is almost out of print. Well, I should say almost. It's out of print. It's hard to find, but I love it, and that is Project Elite. Man, every time I play this game, when I'm done, I think, what a great experience that game was. I know it mashes a lot of things that a lot of people might not like, speed, rolling dice, but you're kind of concentrating on your own character. You're just rolling and you're doing things, and someone's like, I need help over here. You're like, all right, and it almost feels not quite like a video game. That's kind of a hard claim to make, right? Mm-hmm. But I like the idea of just moving around and shooting stuff, and you feel like you're doing something. Mm-hmm. When you're done with it, you don't feel like you had a useless turn. You might have, I only killed 8 guys, and you killed 15. You might have had a better turn than me, but at least I did something. And so you feel powerful, and you get to all these cool things, but at the same time, there's this overwhelming force of aliens that just keep coming at you.
Yeah.
Just love it. Have a great time every time. Project League. You guys played this for the first time this year, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if it was this year or
playthrough.
last year, but yeah, I played it with you, and yeah, it's neat. Again, it's kind of an acquired taste, but
Yeah,
it
it's
is
definitely
neat.
something, but I really like it. The miniatures are not good quality, but since you're throwing them halfway across the room, it just feels get out, I'm killing aliens. So I really like it. Project Elite.
Number 11.
Time to do the games that just missed the top 10.
Ooh, yep, the game that just missed the top 10, and it is actually a crossover on this particular segment with you.
Wait, what?
I thought for sure that I guess we just ranked games differently, or because I thought for sure you liked this game a lot better than I did, but maybe not. I don't know.
The only one on here would be Rising Sun.
That is correct, Rising Sun.
It's like 3 different. It's not that
No,
different.
but still, yeah, I know. It's just we probably just have a nuance in how we rank our games. But I really enjoy this game. I've played it, I think, 5 times now over the course of now only 2 of those were actually full, complete games.
Did you play with the painted stuff yet?
Well, it was 95% done when we did the over the playthrough here.
Yeah,
The live one. The live.
I liked how those only looked really cool. Once Vernon painted them, I was like, they're not.
Yeah.
Now they're like
nasty.
They're really gross looking.
Yeah, they are.
I might keep mine unpainted.
It's really the cusp as far as that's concerned of games that I'm willing to palette, because I just don't want to. I don't know. I just don't like. I like having a game on the board that everybody can go, wow, look at all this stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, don't look at this one though.
Don't look too closely.
Yeah.
Just look. Just come in and go.
Just stay up. Don't lean over. Just stay back and enjoy it from a distance. But anyway, I do enjoy the game. I like this mechanism of combat better than the one in Cry Havoc. We've compared that before in the past. But I like the not in the negotiation, but the betting, the wagering that goes on in the combat section of the game. I really enjoyed it. It's very fun. I have enjoyed the models. I like the area control aspect of the game. I like the teaming up aspect, the different alliances that can come into it. And that's an interesting dynamic as well, because when you ally with somebody, you are literally, it's not a competitive, cooperative game. Only one person can win. You are literally helping somebody else win in those alliances. So it's a pretty cool tightrope that you have to walk there. But I enjoyed it a lot. My number 11 just missed my top 10, Rising Sun.
My number 11 was 34 last year, and this is a game that Sam, I usually get a lot of garbage back because we talk about it and people say it's out of print. We can't get it, but next year will be in print, and that is Thunderstone. In fact, when Thunderstone Quest comes out, which is the 3rd version of Thunderstone, I will take my Advanced Thunderstone and get rid of it, which is not something I did when Thunderstone Advanced came out. I was like, I'll keep it all. And after a while, my OCD couldn't handle how different the cards looked. And they kept printing expansions for it. But Thunderstone Quest is so good and so much better than Thunderstone Advanced, and it's made. A lot of the changes that they made in the game are kind of what I wanted the game to be. Initially, the game was, this is Dominion with a theme. And it was barely that. It was, get this, go into a dungeon, and sometimes the card's locked up. Then we started playing the Epic version. I was like, oh, this makes a whole lot more sense now. Even without the Epic version, I like Thunderstone Quest a lot. I haven't even played it with the Epic version yet, But let's say you say, hey, you're talking about a game that's not out yet. That's true. But even Thunderstone itself, I've always liked it, especially when playing with the Epic version. I like it now, collecting these cards, playing them, going out on missions. Especially with they added a new action in Advance where you can discard. All you do in your turn is discard a few cards, but keep some cards and draw back up. Okay. Which is a great thing to add it, because you have that one guy who works great with the one sword, and you're like, they never come together. Well, now you can waste a few actions and get them together, and that just makes the game that much better.
That's good.
Really like it. Thunderstone, Thunderstone Advance, Thunderstone Quest, whatever one you can get.
All right, for me, my number 11, much like 51st State and Imperial Settlers, are related and in the same chunk.
This is another Portal game?
No, much like those two, this is an abstract from the same series as Yinch.
Yinch is the best.
This is my favorite. At 11, this is Czar.
Oh, Czar is pretty good.
I think I just taught you this not too long ago.
He did, and I liked it, but Yinch is still my favorite.
Yeah, I like Czar a little bit better. This is my favorite. I mean, I have, of this series of games, like 4 of them are in my top 100, so it's a series of games and a designer that I very much respect and enjoy. The reason Czar is my favorite is because it is the fastest. It gets good the fastest. I mean, 2 turns in, you better be careful or you'll lose. You'll put you in a situation you're going to have a hard time getting out of. So I like that very much, and I like the mechanisms in it very much. It sort of feels like it borrows from some of the other games in the series to make this really tight, interesting, tough, tightrope kind of package, where some pieces, you're going to have 3 kinds of pieces on the board, and the ones that start as the weakest pieces slowly shift to become the strongest, and vice versa. Really cool concept, very much enjoy it. Czar is my number 11.
That's it.
Cool.
10 more. The best 10 games ever made, according to us this year, 2017, and we'll probably change some of them in the future. Is coming up.
It's a good title. I don't think I'm going to use the whole thing.
We'll use it in the thing. Oh, this has been good. We're excited. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Zee Garcia. Thanks, everybody.
Sam Healey. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Daystar would be better with an expansion.
Some say that Tom is like a giant among men. Others say he's a little obsessed.
I don't even have a top 10.
Tom Vasel's top 100 games of all time. Zee's got flavor in his top 100 games. Zee Garcia, voice of the people. Zee Garcia, voice of the people. Sam Healey, oh really, top 100 games.